Hello stars, this is Miss Lee, your 3rd grade literacy teacher, ready to tackle this week with you through Literacy Today. Before we get started, please make sure to have a nicely sharpened pencil and a notebook with you at hand. I will be starting off Module 10 again with the essential question, why is it important to pass stories down to the next generation? Remember, by the end of this module, we should be able to answer this question using examples from our readings. Feel free to pause this video to think about this question. In today's lesson, we will be reading an article about pollution and how it affects the environment and our health. Our genre focus today will be informational text. Before we get started, I want to show you how to access the article through Google Classroom. I will also refresh your memory on how to access our online resources, such as EdLearning, so that you can begin taking the quizzes I've assigned. So let's begin. First, open up a browser and type in nps.k12.nj.us on the top. Second, go to Students and click on Student Portal in the drop-down menu. This next page should look familiar. Click Login with Google. Do not click the blue Clever icon because it requires you to sign in differently. Now for me, I have 2 Google accounts, so they're asking me to choose an account. You should just have one with your 6-digit number. Once you've reached this SSO portal page, you're almost there. Please type in your 6-digit number on the top field and your password in the second field. If you do not know your password, please ask a friend or message me on Class Dojo. Then voila, your Clever homepage should appear. Remember, you can access Newsela and EdLearning from here. I'm going to click on Google Classroom because I want to show you today's news article, but also want to show you where I will be posting assignments for you to respond to. As you can see, I have a couple different classrooms. You probably also have Mrs. Triano's classroom and Mr. Marin's. However, for today, please click on Miss Lee's classroom that matches your homeroom number. So for homeroom 304, here's my class code if you didn't already join my class. And here is the class code for homeroom 303. So right now, you just see me trying to post the article for you. So you won't see this on your end. Right now, I'm just writing the instructions for you after you read the article, which is to please read this article and underline, highlight, or write any important facts that will teach people about world pollution. And I do want you to include at least 5 to 8 facts. You can respond below the post where it says add class comment. Before we get started reading the article, let's preview some vocabulary. Here you see the words doses, atmosphere, toxic, contaminate, landfills, and consumer. Please open your notebook and write these vocabulary words down or write them down on index cards. Please use a dictionary to write down the definitions or read the article to figure out the meaning with context clues. I'll be adding these words to our list of words for the spelling bee, so make sure to practice sounding out, spelling, and remembering what they mean. So let's look at the title. The title already tells us that this article will not only be about how pollution affects the environment, but also how it affects our health. I'd say that these two are closely related. I also noticed an interactive sidebar with a live number of waste dumped this year. Remember, we saw the word sidebar on the interim, right? This is a graphic feature that gives us some highlights of the article and tends to be super important. What's cool about this is it's live, and you can click on the time frames to see how much waste is dumped. Now let's read the article. It affects the environment and your health. Pollution is when gases, smoke, and chemicals are introduced into the environment in large doses that makes it harmful for humans, animals, and plants. Some forms of pollution can be seen, some are invisible. Now when I look at the word doses, I notice that there's the word large in front of it, so this tells me that it must mean maybe in large amounts. Our Earth has an atmosphere that's made up of different gases. The amount of gases on our atmosphere is just right to encourage life on our planet. We breathe the air and we thrive on it. Because of our advances in technology, we are introducing new chemicals into our atmosphere, causing an imbalance. The most popular effect of this imbalance in nature is global warming. Now, what's great about this article is that they actually have links where you can research more about that topic. So, for example, they just mentioned global warming, and if you see below it says read more, you can click on that blue link, Global Warming Definition for Kids, and find out a little more information. The different kinds of pollution. Air pollution. The vehicles that we use to get around, such as cars, planes, and trucks, contribute to air pollution. These vehicles use fossil fuels like gas to power its engines. If you notice the smoke that comes out of our vehicles, what you are seeing is carbon dioxide. Due to the large number of vehicles in the world today, we are adding too much carbon dioxide to our atmosphere, causing the planet's temperature to rise. This is the concept behind global warming. But the toxic smoke coming out of our vehicles is just a small part of our air pollution problem today. Factories, which are used to produce many of the consumer products we enjoy every day, also give off toxic substances that pollute our air. So we remember the word toxic from when we were studying animals, right? Toxic is when something is extremely poisonous. So what they're saying here is that the smoke that's coming out of the vehicles are really just a small part of our air pollution. A lot of it comes from factories, which are used to make a lot of our products. So the word consumer means the person who buys these products. Not only does air pollution cause smog, it also causes sickness such as asthma and other respiratory diseases. Land pollution. Can you imagine how much trash is produced by 7 billion people? Did you ever think about where the trash goes? Some of the stuff that we throw away are toxic to our environment, like plastic. They contain chemicals that can leak into the ground and contaminate the water we drink. These chemicals can even reach our oceans, rivers, and lakes. This is the reason why you should practice the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. We are encouraged to minimize the waste that ends up in the landfills so we won't contaminate our environment. If we really need to throw out our stuff, we should do so properly by bringing them to recycling centers where they can use the materials to make other new products. This is an effective way to manage our waste and keep them from reaching our landfills. Now, when we look at the word contaminate, let's see how it's used in the sentence. They contain chemicals that can leak into the ground and contaminate the water we drink. So we already know it's doing something to the water, so it's a verb. Not only that, we can infer that, okay, if chemicals are going into our water, are they making our water cleaner or unsafe to drink? I would think unsafe to drink. So here is evidence that supports the title of how pollution affects our environment and our health. Let's look at the word landfills and see how it's used in the sentence. We are encouraged to minimize the waste that ends up in the landfill so we won't contaminate our environment. I can tell that the landfills affect the environment and they're closely related to where we live. Also, if I were to break down the word landfills, I see 2 words there. I see land and fills. So this tells me that it's located in the ground somewhere and we fill it up with garbage. Water pollution. What will we do when we run out of clean water to drink? What will happen when the oceans, rivers, and lakes are so polluted that all the fish and aquatic animals die? Water keeps us alive, and it's very important for us to have clean drinking water. There was a time when we can safely drink from our faucets, but now we don't know if the water is really safe to drink, and we buy purified water in bottles. Humans are the cause of water pollution directly and indirectly. We mindlessly throw our trash in the ocean, not thinking about what that may cause. Ships that carry oil can have accidents, spilling all that toxic oil into the ocean, causing havoc in our marine ecosystem and polluting our waters. Do you know that there are areas in the Pacific Ocean where there are islands of trash? We need to stop throwing out our trash into the oceans and dispose of them properly on land. I highly recommend clicking on the link Plastic Island Pacific Ocean to find out more information on this topic. It appears that the coral reef are in danger, and so are a lot of the marine animals, confusing plastic for food. By knowing how our daily activities affect our environment, we can help reduce pollution in our own small way. Learn more about the state of our environment by browsing the articles on The World Counts stories. We only have one planet and we need to take care of it. What an amazing and informative article! I learned so much and realized that I really should focus on reducing my carbon footprint, meaning I should consume less fossil fuels by driving less, maybe walking more, and also recycling. I recommend rereading this article independently or following along the video again. Remember, as you read, please underline, highlight, or write any important facts that will teach people about world pollution. You can write this directly in the Google Classroom response box as part of your brainstorming. Your goal is to write 5 to 8 facts on world pollution. You will be using these facts to write an informative piece telling your family about the problem of world pollution. Be sure to use important facts from the article as supporting evidence and also use transition words so that your writing has a nice smooth flow. Remember to write as if you are an expert on this topic. For example, when we wrote about Kobe Bryant, we didn't just write that he was a great basketball player. We had to state the facts. So you're doing the same thing here. After you're finished writing, read your writing to your family to teach them about this topic. Also, use your article as evidence to answer any questions they may have. Please send your finished writing piece to me through Google Docs or Google Classroom. I would love to showcase your writing in the next video. Have fun!